Howdy and g'day. Today I have some very special Martini Superflex filleting knives, very flexible, and so I'm going to use the long knife jig because despite its name it's not really meant for long knives because a normal jig will handle any knife length, but these are very good for handling the flexible knives. So you place them in there as close to the spine as possible. Tighten up the first nut and then tighten up the back one, and that limits the flex and if you press lightly that won't flex at all. Right? So the first thing I do is, because these appear to have the factory bevel still on there, I'm going to follow that. You see that silver edge on the top? That's bluntness. You shouldn't be able to see anything, and you can see that there's a bit of a chip there, right there. So there is a bit of a weirdness on the tip. You can see there's two facets there, one there, and this side, I don't know, it looks a bit massive. We'll see how we go. But I'll try to emulate this bevel here, which looks reasonable and very sharp. Probably going to be about 26 degrees, I'm guessing. But we will get them done to perfection. So I'll switch over to the other camera and I'll see you at the machine. Right, so the first thing I'll do is I'll mark the bevel so we can scrape it on the wheel and see what angle it is. And I'll do both sides because I like this one a bit better actually. I don't know if they come this way or if they've been sharpened before, but we'll soon figure it out. That looks a bit massive, and that tip looks a bit weird as well. See, look how big that is. I don't know about that. We'll see. So, it's as simple as popping it down on there. I'll take this off. And lay this over as hard as I can. That's on the tip. See that there? Right, so it needs to lay over more. And you can actually feel it. It makes a different sound when it's actually running on the bevel. So we'll lower that down. It's climbing. It needs to go over more. See, that sounds quieter. Don't know if you can hear that difference. And now we're right on that bevel. See that? Right there, that's taking out that whole bevel. Now, what's curious is I want to turn it over to the other side and see if it's the same. Yes, sounds the same, and you can tell, look. See, I've scraped all that marker off, so that's good. Now I'm also curious as to what angle that is. So let's get I'll get the new one. So my wheel diameter is about 225. So I'll adjust this to 225 and we'll see where we're at. Oh, she's a leaner. Let me just tighten that up loosely. That's it there. Crikeys. Look at that. 11. So that'll be a 22 degrees. Well, I haven't done one this acute for a long time. Had to think of the word. But we'll see how it goes. Now, is that jig going to touch the wheel? Oh, no, we're going to miss. So, let's just, what grade? Let me try a 320 and see how that grades. Because it doesn't really need rebuilding. And it's very thin, so it won't take much scraping to get it to line up again. Let me just check its setting. Yep, we're good. Let's have a look, see how we go. Wow. Oh, okay. That's weird. With just one scrape. Let me show you. So it seems to be fine here, but when it comes to the tip, it only just grabbed the very edge of it. So, but it was a very light pass. Let's just we're already getting burrage on the back here. So what I'm going to do, because I'm very curious about this, is I'm going to mark the back bevel fully. So we can watch it and see how it develops. Wow, 22 degrees. I don't think I've ever done one this low before. But this knife is definitely the one to deserve special treatment. And in fact, oh yeah, I'll show you how I've done so far. You can see that it's taking some of that tip off, and this other back bevel is fine. A little bit light on the back there because I'm being very careful and cautious. Oh, that's another customer. Back in a minute. Okay, so we're back. Now, microphone on, yes. Now, I want to try the other side first before I start finishing everything off nicely. I'm happy that we're achieving the angles that we want, and it's all possible without banging into the bottom of the jig. We should measure this on the best afterwards just to see how sharp it actually gets. See that it's not giving us a massively wide bevel there, but this seems to be covering the whole knife back to the factory bevel, so that's good. And I just have to press a little bit more, maybe with my little finger there. Very nice. Just keep it even. Nice. Might bring you in a bit closer actually, because this is interesting. Little finger helping, not pushing too much, but just making sure that we're getting a full contact there. And I'm grinding this on the 320 diamond, as you saw, which means that the wheel is set to around about 960 to 1000 grit. I say 960 to 1000 because it starts off at 960, but these hard knives, I presume this is hard, they have a tendency to sort of smooth the wheel out as you work them. See, that looks nice now. Nice full bevel all the way along here. A little bit thin up here, but I think that's expected on this Tormek, and that may have been made on a different machine, but I'll keep trying to get, I mean, we're obviously all the way down. Have we got a burr? Yep, I've got a burr all the way, so that's actually sharp enough. But I would like to finish it off, so we'll see we're getting there. Just a little bit shy, just there, of achieving that full bevel from the factory that Martini wanted. This one is a bit hard to see because actually, let me take that marker off now. Just a bit of 99%. Wait for it to go purple, and then off it comes. Oh, looks good now. You can see we're a little bit shy of that factory grind through the corner there, as always. It's hard not to go too fast through the corner, so I have to slow down there a bit. Looks like, yep, that's just a bit of cloth hanging around there. One facet, oh no, a couple of facets there, so I'll have to be a bit careful going slower. Facets, multiple facets are caused by going too fast. See, this is all one facet. Nice. This is going to be so sharp. So going slow around that corner. Beautiful. Oh, that's magnificent. And if I was chasing that original factory bevel, I would have, let's have a look, see if I can get focus on that. You can see here that it's a little bit shy. Let's have a look. See there? Excuse my fingernail. That's my burr checking fingernail. But the rest of it is great. Really good. Beautiful tips as always, because I go tip first, despite how controversial it is. Now here you can see that we're still a little bit shy of covering that entire factory bevel. You see that little bit down the bottom there? However, that's more than sharp enough and that should be fine, but I just want to make it perfect. We can see at the back there, there's a little bit more that needs grinding. Let's take another run. A little bit more. I might try this side first. Keep it even. I'm going to get the vernier gauge out in a minute and measure how thick it is behind the edge, just for our own curiosity, right? Oops, bit of a touch there, but never mind. Oh, that looks great. Needs a little bit more on this side. Right on the tip. Wow. Looks a bit bigger on this side than this side, so I might just take some more off this side using my engineering eye. Correct angle here. Needs a bit more. I reckon that's good enough. Got full burrage everywhere. Now it's a bit hairy from the cloth, but Have a look at that. Even Steven all the way. Bit of a touch on the grinding wheel there. Oops. Nice and even. We've got multi-facet there. A little bit of multi-faceting going on, but the edge is touching. Looks nice. All right. So now we'll hone. Okay, first we green up. Find the burr's on the back, so now the burr's on the top. I always polish the back of the burr first. And I'm going to take a real light approach here because I don't want to over hone. I'd rather under hone, feel roughness. And I'm really only touching the apex here, not really doing the whole bevel because who cares about the bevel. Nice. That was very light. So let me test it now. We've got some smooth and some rough, so we're getting there. Just want to take it gently, gently creep up on it, because over honing will round off the edge and we don't want that. We want these to be the sharpest filleting knives he's ever used. I'm really surprised at that 22 degrees angle though. Wow. Be quiet. Let's test again. Oh yeah, that's smooth, smooth, smooth. Oh, a little bit of roughness. Maybe just a touch more. Just quickly and very light. The knife is barely using gravity. Oh, buttery. Buttery. We've got butterage. Nice. That is finished. So let me wipe that off. And I'll show you what that apex looks like after honing. You can see a little silver peak just where it was. See, I don't know if you can see that, but it's just not really. I can see it. It's hard to capture it on the camera. There you go. See it over here? See how it's a bit silvery on the top? That's the honing that we just did. All right, let's go over to the bench, do some testing. Obviously, going to glide through the yellow pages. Oh, makes a bit of noise. Let's have a look here. It is a bit noisy. I wonder why. Might just give it a bit of a maybe I didn't quite hone enough. Feels smooth. Okay, that's a bit better. It's a little bit noisy. I think I might want to take it over to the hone a little bit more, because I don't know if you can see that. See how that edge is not, it's not super perfect. So I'm going to go and hone it a little bit more with a bit more pressure. See if we can't take some of that off. Maybe I was a little bit too gentle. I really expected that to be. Do you know why? You idiot. This is the wrong knife. The knife's still in the jig. I'm going to leave that in so you can all have a bit of a laugh at my expense. All right. Because I've got 2 martinis here. How many of you picked up on that, I wonder? How many of you picked up on that, I wonder? That is hilarious. Blooper. So let's try that again. Okay, so this is off that fresh hone as we showed before. Let's have a look at this. Ah, of course. Buttery smooth. Oh, that was funny. Yes. Much better. So there's our silver line. Try and capture that. Let's do some cigarette paper before we go to the bess, because if it fails this, there's no point going to the bess. Oh yeah. Nice. All right. Let's bess. Now before we bess, I have to make sure I'm on a hard surface. So I might come over here a bit. Clear up my bench. Let me clear up. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, it's got a new cartridge. Let's test it. .108. That's pretty sharp. I did expect it to go down below. So, are we happy with 108? I know others would be, but not me. I want to see a 90 something. Let me just give it a bit of a rub. It's important to hone in the same direction as you grind. And so, according to Outdoors 55, bless him, hope his leg's feeling better. So you can see that I'm grinding pretty much straight up. So that means that instead of wiping it on an angle, I should be following that and just improving those actual grooves. Let me just wipe the wax off because that can have an effect as well. In fact, make sure that's all off. Let's try again. New medium. .90 fat. And just before we go, I wanted to measure that blade thickness behind the edge. So let's have a look here. Now 0.6. Is that right? No, 0.5. Half a mil. So actually not that thin. Not that thin. But yeah, that came out great. One nice little sliceroonie. Nice. Little paper. Push straight through. Lovely. Excellent. And yeah, so that was the Superflex by Martini of Finland. Hand ground stainless. Beautiful knives. And they have a nice sheath as well. So I'm going to pop that in there. Now it's ready for the client. Hey, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.